Welcome back, everyone. Now, first off, I want to set a bit of groundwork before I get deeper into this. So, to start off, I have already made one video on this topic. When the BRP, the Basic Role Playing Open Game License, first came out, I made a video on it. You can see that video right up here. If you want to go check it out. That video was extremely positive. I read through it for the first time, and I just gave my opinion on it. Now, as time has gone by, different things have caught my attention, and today we're going to be going over why the BRP cannot be trusted. Why this OGL, this open game license, is not all that it seems to be, and when and how you should go about using it, and why it's not exactly the best thing you could be using. And also, we'll talk about why this happened in the first place, because while this is just my opinion, I do believe that there is a very clear reason why this was created, which was not exactly to give creators a new license to work with. That being said, you can see the OGL down in the description. I will put a link to it. Go read it for yourself. And yeah, let's get into this. So first of all, the main problem with this open game license is in the terminology on the document itself. First, you've got what it gives you, and that is an extremely stripped down version of basic role playing with, I believe, no magic system, very, very, very generic weapons with very, very generic values, and you get a character sheet with some skills, and that's about it. That's what you get to use. That's the building blocks that you have. There's probably a couple other things, but it's very basic, as the name Basic Role Playing suggests. Then you see where it tells you what is not allowed with the license. And it says you cannot make a game with King Arthur or anything substantially similar to anything Chaosium has ever made that's like Pendragon, which is a game about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and Morgan Le Fay, or however you pronounce that, and who else? And Merlin, all those people. You can't make a game with the Cthulhu mythos mixed with BRP because it's already been made. It's already been done. So Chaosium drew the line at anything that was substantially similar to any of their other products or any of the products to be created. Now, this is where the problems come in. First of all, it's a legally binding document, and it reminds me of the document for creators when they go to upload something to the Miskatonic repository. Okay, it's extremely vague, and when you're creating a legal document, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't I can't tell anyone what to do. I cannot teach you how to create a legal document or anything like that. But I know that you can't be vague. And if you're vague like that, that leaves it open to interpretation. And so let's say you make something under the license now, and years later, Chaosium publishes something that's just like what you made, and then what you made is no longer allowed because now it's prohibited because it's substantially similar to something Chaosium made. You see where that's the first problem. Second problem is, okay, so anything substantially similar to H.P. Lovecraft's work. H.P. Lovecraft influenced hundreds of authors, including like Stephen King, or August Derleth, right? You've got so many different authors that drew inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft, and they are all considered part of the mythos. So there is no clear defining line on what is allowed and what isn't allowed. And it's basically on a uh, by each case basis. Chaosium gets to make the final call, which is completely fine. Here's where some people are getting a little bit heated, is that they don't seem to understand that Chaosium is the legal owners of their own property, and they can do whatever they want with it. While this open game license is nowhere near it doesn't touch Wizards of the Coast's open game license for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but it is what Chaosium wanted. The terminology open game license seems misleading to me, but I still think that some creators might be able to use it. Will I? Probably not. And here's why. Let me pull up. Let's see. So there's been a lot of discussion about this open game license. And I think that there's a very specific reason Chaosium created this license. And there might be more scenarios like this that I don't know about, but this is the one I know about. So I think it was a couple of years ago, an independent developer came out and said that he wanted to create what he called Open Cthulhu, which was a BRP system for Call of Cthulhu, or not for Call of Cthulhu, a BRP system, or D1, basic role-playing is basically skill-based system where you roll the D100 to generate a number between 1 and 100, which is easy, simple. Everyone understands percentages, right? It's a lot more streamlined and intuitive than a lot of other systems, which is why I love basic role-playing and any game derived from basic role-playing. But anyway, Open Cthulhu was supposed to be a new basic role-playing mythos game, or Cthulhu mythos game. And the second that they did not really express their intention to do this before they finished it. So they posted the link to it, and it's completely free. I would call it the equivalent of Epic Games taking the idea of a battle royale from PUBG and making Fortnite. But Fortnite's free, right? Or any other blatant rip-off type of things, right? So, first of all, I do not think Open Cthulhu was a project that many people would have been interested in anyway, because there's so much out there for Call of Cthulhu already. There doesn't really need to be a BRP mythos other system for it, which is basically which is almost exactly like Call of Cthulhu, because I looked into Open Cthulhu because I was intrigued by it when I first heard about it. It's substantially similar to Call of Cthulhu, and that right there is the entire reason I think this open game license was created, because the makers of Open Cthulhu were also told that they were stealing from a bunch of different people's copyright, which is true whenever you go anywhere near anything that has anything to do with Lovecraft. Most people know that. Like, I already knew that before I learned about all of this stuff. Like, Lovecraft's work is extremely fraught with copyright claims and infringement, and you don't really know what is where, because there's so many different people that contributed to it, and there's so many different owners of it, and it's a minefield, as someone in the forums called it, I believe. So it stands to reason that they also made some copyright infringements, as Chaosium said to them. However, according to Open Cthulhu's developers, when they contacted Chaosium about it, Chaosium would not respond, except with vague answers. So it seems like there's a lot of corporate drama being playing out here that I don't really approve of any of it, but that's just me. I mean, this is just my opinion. But anyway, aside from all of that, this is why I think the BRP was the OGL. I keep saying the BRP, the OGL, the Open Game License. This new one was created because it was not made to tell you what you can do. It was made to tell you what you can't do. And it was made to put certain things off limits so that something like Open Cthulhu could never happen again. Open Cthulhu is still trying to get off the ground. They've revised their rule system multiple times, but at the end of the day, they still took the basic role-playing D100 system and tried to make a Cthulhu game with it. And that's already been done. And that's Chaosium's legal property. So if Chaosium's going to say, look, you can't do this, I don't really have a problem with that. One of Chaosium's staff members, fans were getting mad about the Open Game License because of how vague it was with the words substantially similar, which it used like, I don't have an exact number. Many times throughout the document, as you will see, if you go read it down in the description below, you can see that it said anything substantially similar over and over and over again. And that can be interpreted however the owner of the license wants to. And as multiple people on the forums brought up, if you are, just because Chaosium right now is under good management, that doesn't mean that, 20 years down the road when this open game license is still in effect, that someone else won't try to screw over someone else's project and call it substantially similar, just because it has a vague reference to tentacles in it, because that's too Lovecraftian for them. And it's substantially similar to Lovecraft's work, which is substantially similar to Call of Cthulhu. And that is where a lot of the problems come from. They also used some vague terminology, like you cannot use any storylines, character names, place names, spells, books. You can't use any of their names. And people try to be funny and say, so you're saying we can't use the word Peru in our game because Peru is a location in Mass of Nyarlathotep. I'm pretty sure that they cannot copyright a name or a place like that. It's more creative work that they can copyright. Plus, it's specific, it's very specific. It's with BRP. You can go make your own D20 Cthulhu game. You can go make your own 3D6 Cthulhu game, right? Every roll is 3D6. If you make your own system, you can make your own Cthulhu game. You just cannot use Chaosium's system to make another Call of Cthulhu knockoff. And that makes total sense to me. I have an idea for a system that I've been thinking about for a while. I'm not really going to disclose much on it yet, but what I'm going to say is that I was originally planning on using this new open game license when I first heard about it to publish this, and now I have been persuaded otherwise. My original elated opinion has been changed. I think that Chaosium should be a little more straightforward about what the point of the license is, because it seems like its primary purpose is to tell people what they cannot do. Its secondary purpose, and I think this is why they made it into this type of document, is they didn't want to tell Open Cthulhu exactly where they went wrong. They wanted to tell everyone where anyone could potentially get it wrong and say, look, here's what we don't want you to do. Other than this, you can do whatever you want with our system. By using terminology like substantially similar and anything we create in the future, they kind of screwed up the chances of people maybe using it for anything. I don't know. I know that they came out and said that multiple publishers were interested in using their license. I have seen nothing published under the Open Game License yet. I've seen a couple efforts to create community projects for using this license, which so far nothing really has happened with it. And they've been extremely general, these suggestions. Nothing like fantasy, horror, and like genre-based. Secondary purpose, I think, of the Open Game License was Chaosium also saw an opportunity. And they thought, hey, we're going to try to not just shut down creative projects, we're going to try to tell you how you can use, how we think that it's appropriate for you to use our system that we made or that we own. I don't know exactly who made it. I think I do, but I don't remember his name right this second. Greg Stafford, I think. He made it. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this entire open game license situation is pretty weird. Like I said, there's a lot of what seems to be corporate drama playing out. There's a lot of people tweeting and people going back and forth on the forums, and a lot of backlash to this open game license, which the entire idea of an open game license is kind of defeated by the way Chaosium has created this one. It's more of a limited license to use their system, just the bare bones system. And it's not even the exact system. They like tweaked it a little bit. So the main thing that you get with this license is the ability to put its logo on your product. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. As a creator, I don't know why I would want someone else's logo on my product. And some people were saying stuff like it gives you a fan base already of people who like basic role-playing, and I guess that kind of makes sense. But I just like when I posted Miskatonic repository titles, you can see a link to those down in the description, plus a new big one is coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But they've always made me put like their logo on everything. And I just, I don't know. I don't like having someone else's logo on my stuff, but, you know, I am using their system, so I will do as they command. Yeah, so final thoughts on this. Don't use the open game license. Unless you think that your game is unique enough to go under it, I would not use it. I really wouldn't use it even then because of the fact that Chaosium specifically said any game that they make in the future, which, I mean, I don't understand why anyone would, yeah, I really don't like that. That's the main thing that I really don't like about it, is how vague the terminology is. Let me see something. I'm trying to find one other thing to mention, because I've also seen that this license has basically already been done, except you get more. Chaosium already has a open game license, and I'm trying to see if I can find what it's called so I can let you know. Bear with me, please. Or skip ahead. Oh my goodness. They went on and on and on and on. Yeah, this was a topic of high controversy. Okay, so let's see. Here, this person, Theodis171, says, for a bunch of different reasons, and after having a look at the really bare-bones 27-page document, the question arises, why bother? There is a Legend SRD. I don't know exactly what that stands for, but anyway. There's the Legend SRD, there's Mithras, and OpenQuest. All of those things, I'm pretty sure, are other open game licenses that use the basic role-playing system as their basis. And you can build a game with any of those, and you get so much more to work with and a lot less restrictions, and definitely none of that. Any game that we make in the future, we can sue you for if your game's like our future games. Trash. So, yeah. Other than that, yeah, not much else to say. I think this is a case closed unless they decide to change it. I know that they have updated it once, but I don't think the update really fixed matters at all. Yeah, I mean, there were hundreds of replies to this on BRP Central, way more on Yaxothoth.com. Yeah, there were a bunch of people who were kind of pissed off at this, but my advice to you is just don't use it. It seems like Chaosium, my final word on this is that Chaosium did what was completely in their legal right to do, which was tell other people not to create projects that are blatant ripoffs of their own work. And that makes complete, total sense to me. I don't understand why everyone's so worked up about it, especially if there's other things that you can use. I understand if you're riled up that they called it an open game license. I don't appreciate that either, but I mean, just don't use it. Boycott it. They said that they've got a bunch of publishing companies lining up to use it. Let those publishing companies use it. They're lost, most likely, in the future if this terminology is not fixed. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching this. If you agree, even if you don't agree, let me know in the comments exactly what you've thought about this entire situation, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably already know a lot about what's been going on. Yeah, there was all types of drama. Like, what happened? One of the Chaosium staff members posted on the forums that if the fans don't like the open game license, they can go pound sand for all he cares. Yeah. Things got heated. So people were also doing, they kept on raising hypotheticals over and over again and nitpicking over every little detail. And I kind of understand why with the terminology, but it was also like very excessive and they wouldn't shut up about it. So, yeah. I just advise you not to use the license. There's a bunch of others you could use. And if all else fails, just use Wizards of the Coast. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you are new to this channel, because you might very well be, if you found this video through YouTube search or whatever, you saw the title, thank you very much for clicking on it. Subscribe to my channel. Bleed out the subscribe button. You get lots of very interesting content on my ideas and my keeper advice and some, lots of stuff on Call of Cthulhu. If you like Call of Cthulhu, you'll like my channel. I try to be unique in that I make videos that are very, very focused on story building and very, very focused on horror in general. You can see by checking out the end screen, checking out the other videos on my channel, yada, yada, yada. Like the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. We are going to be streaming again soon, so stay tuned for that. More Call of Cthulhu coming up. And it's an interesting scenario, not one that I wrote. That's your first hint. And I will be posting an announcement for it soon, so stay tuned for that. Deathstroke 9, out!